AITA for being embarrassed of my girlfriend's cosplay? My 25M, GF, 24, had a double mastectomy 5 years ago. She had breast cancer, and thankfully made a full recovery. Unlike a lot of women, she didn't have any reconstructive surgery. This was before I met her. I'm a big anime nerd, and last weekend I invited her to a small anime con with me. She's seen a few episodes of my favorite shows, but she's not into anime. She does like cosplay, though, and she works seasonally as an SFX artist at a haunted house near us. So when I asked her to go to the con with me, she asked if she could cosplay, and I said sure. She got very excited and said I was going to love her costume, so I'll admit I thought she was going to do something sexy for me. Well, not exactly. The day of the convention comes, and she showed up at my house cosplaying Dabi from MHA, specifically a look he has later in the manga. It's a long white coat over white pants, no shirt. Her entire chest was exposed and she'd obviously spent hours applying burn makeup. She has short hair that she dyes constantly. This time she bleached it white and dyed a few red streaks. I wasn't expecting her to show up without a shirt. Her burn scar makeup only covered half her chest, so you could clearly see her mastectomy scar. It wasn't a very attractive costume, especially since she'd gone all out with the scars and made them look raised and kind of realistic. We went to the con, and while a lot of people came up to take photos with her, I noticed several others looking at her chest. That evening, she said I'd been quiet all day, and I honestly told her I was a little embarrassed that she was flaunting her mastectomy scar like that.
She got mad and said she was making the best of her situation and said I was being insensitive, and she's been distant ever since. I'm starting to feel guilty. AITA?
Uta. Unlike a lot of women, she didn't have any reconstructive surgery. That was the moment I suspected that you were TA. I thought she was going to do something sexy for me. This moment confirmed it. I was not prepared for how bad your behavior was going to get up. She survives cancer and is left with a prominent scar. Something a lot of people would struggle with to a huge degree. But this lady is awesome and proudly incorporates her scar into a cosplay. I'll admit I have no idea who the character is.
You see this, and you get embarrassed to be seen with her? You're embarrassed that she put a huge amount of effort into her cosplay to an event you invited her to? You're embarrassed that she's not ashamed of her body. You need a serious attitude adjustment, Top. This is why women have such a hard time being cosplayers. Guys are always assuming they're doing it to be sexy for them. Your girlfriend did something scary and brave for herself. Your reaction is disgusting. Uta.
YTA Jesus. She went through cancer and a double mastectomy and you're crying about being embarrassed? Please break up with her so she can find someone that's not an asshole. YTA. And, you know what? I'm going to bullet point this for you. So, a list of things that make YTA. Expecting your girlfriend to cover her scars, expecting your girlfriend to dress as a woman. Expecting your girlfriend to be doing a hobby that she enjoys. For your sexual gratification, expecting your girlfriend to be sad and mopey about her situation. And not make the best of something. Probably, based on how you've spoken. Expecting your girlfriend to be traditionally feminine in a way that caters to your sexual interests. Your girlfriend is seemingly a very fun and creative person who put time and effort into doing something cool and fun to interact with your hobby and find a meeting point between your interests. It's very thoughtful of her. And she's clearly very talented and was excited for you to see her costume. Because she expected you'd think that her craftsmanship was amazing based on the con's reactions. I'd say it probably was. You don't seem to appreciate her for the person she is. And expect a lot out of her in very superficial ways. Grow up. It's an incredibly childish way to feel about the entire thing. Maybe you're not meant for her if you can't handle her just being a person outside of the traditional femininity that you find attractive. YTA. You wanted a sexy cosplay girl and you didn't get it. So now you're all upset. You're embarrassed of her scars that saved her life. She deserves better.
AITA, and she should find someone who actually likes her. Thankfully, it seems like she's figured that out.
YTA, and a massive one. Scars are part of our lives, and hers shows she fought and survived. There is nothing embarrassing in integrating scars or other body marks into cosplay. She's SFX artist and obviously skilled in this topic. That you expected something sexy and were disappointed and embarrassed is a complete you problem. And in case nobody told you before, cosplays aren't automatically meant to be attractive. And instead of standing up for your GF when people staring at her, you chose to tell her that you were embarrassed after the whole thing. Oh, how dare your GF not have a pretty little cosplay outfit? Obviously she has not gotten the message that her only worth is if she caters to the male gaze. Yeah, YTA. I honestly told her I was a little embarrassed that she was flaunting her mastectomy scar. YTA, no one flaunts their mastectomy scars. They are the scars of a warrior. And, for your information, many people chose not to have reconstructive surgery after breast cancer surgery. It's a personal preference. Translation. I wanted to show off my GF as a 14-year-old's fantasy BC. It would be a turn-on for me. Al thought I never communicated my expectation. I figured she knew enough about anime to know that is what is expected of her. It is what females are supposed to do at cons for us. Why else would IN have invited her? She disappointed me BC. Not only did she use her own creativity and skills to do something meaningful for her instead of meeting my sexist and selfish expectations, but her outfit allowed complete strangers know she is a woman with boobies, and they didn't like it either. Yes, you are 100% ta. YTA, you can't control what she wears. You shouldn't be embarrassed by her showing her scars. In fact, you should be proud of her. It's not your body, it's hers. Edit. I find the sentence about you hoping for something more sexy absolutely appalling. You're upset about the scars showing, but wanted something sexy so everyone can see? Seems like you're sexualizing her way too much. YTA, it's her body. She isn't ashamed of it or her scars. She told you that you'd love her costume, and you immediately assumed she was going to dress sexy for you. You played yourself with your expectations. If you're ashamed of her body, don't be with her. She'll find someone who loves every part of her, scar and all. It's what she deserves. YTA, this is one of those situations where you just have to deal with your discomfort because it isn't about you. That evening, she said I'd been quiet all day, and I honestly told her I was a little embarrassed that she was flaunting her mastectomy scar like that. She got mad and said she was making the best of her situation and said I was being insensitive. And she's been distant ever since. I'm starting to feel guilty being familiar with Dobby. YTA, yes, I think so. I absolutely agree with you that she was flaunting her scar. Cosplay is flaunting. Your girlfriend has involuntarily had her gendered figure altered. That makes her options for flaunting herself very limited. I think you should recognize that and had it firmly in mind before you said anything. On second thought, even absent that context, stating you were embarrassed she was flaunting her mastectomy scar like that were 3 insults in one sentence. That was a hammer blow. YTA. This woman is so brave. She deserves much better than you. YTA. It's her body. It's survived through a lot, and the scars that show that are something to be proud of, not ashamed of. Shame on you for being so insecure to find someone else's scars embarrassing. Obviously YTA. If it was a male friend who happened to have a scar and wore the same thing, I doubt you'd have any sort of feelings about that. It's her scar. Why would it embarrass you? Don't date her if you can't handle the way her body is. YTA, you are upset that she's not insecure about a scar she got from surgery from cancer? Like there's no words for how much in awe you are. You were happy when you assumed she would do a sexy cosplay, when instead, she chose a cosplay that reflected her life. You were embarrassed. Either accept her, scars and all, or break up with her so she can find somebody who does accept her. YTA. YTA. You should be happy that she's confident in her body to go in this cosplay to an event. Why are you embarrassed? You didn't want other people to see that you date someone with scars? You want her to hide them forever?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.